Okay. I'm not gonna beat around the bush with this, because I just wanna get this out the way and just come clean. And no, this won't be like last time, for those of you who know, you know. So let me just say it. I think I'm done with Triple S, and I think it's time I explain why I'm not going to make any more. Reason 1. The amount of effort I'm putting into making them. Now don't get me wrong, there are a lot more things I could have and could do to make better episodes, but the thing is, it takes way too much time and effort just to make the most simplest thing ever. And the funny thing is, the editing itself wasn't the thing that took me the longest when making these videos. But to be fair, you don't really need to do that much editing with Triple S in the first place. But the amount of pictures and effects I have to add and change was a real pain, to the point where I've had numerous headaches while making them. But the biggest thing that pissed me off the most was either I would miss some scenes, or some of my files getting corrupted, or something would crash and I'd have to start all over again. It doesn't happen as frequent as you think, but it's happened enough times to where I almost punched a hole through a wall because of how far I got and I didn't save. Or I'd have to set everything up again. For the record, I stopped using Paint to make my episodes and started using Flash, which is even more of a pain to use. Reason number 2, and which is the biggest reason of all, is burnout. I'm just burnt out on Triple S content. I'm not joking when I say this, the moment I felt burnt out on Triple S was back in 2023, when I tried rebooting my series for like the 20th time. I know I'm exaggerating, but you get the point. At that point, I was like, how long can I keep doing this? Like I don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. This shit is getting old, and let's just face it. The Triple S community is pretty much dead, or at the very least, barely trying to survive. I watched this series when I was like 11 or 12. I think I started making my own back in 2016, 2017. I'm 25 now, I'm midway through my 30s, I can't keep doing this anymore. Now let me go a bit more into depth on why I don't want to continue this. There is only so goddamn much you can do with Triple S, especially if you come into this community so many years later like I did. You start to question, is what you're doing even worth watching, because of just how cliche and repetitive it is, and just how hard it is to be original and stand out from other people. Find the computer room, Charmy being a pyromaniac, Silver being a dumbass who plays with baby toys, Amy being a stalker, and Sonic watching Sex and the City. I tried so hard to stay away from those brain rot running gags, and tried coming up with more realistic and more reasonable circumstances as to why situations happened. But it was extremely hard for me to come up with anything, and I stressed myself out way too much. I'm someone who overthinks pretty much anything, and that causes me to have a lot of self-doubt. Not to mention, I'm not very good at coming up with very good ideas on my own, which I guess you could say would be reason number 3 as to why I'm quitting. There were also times where I was 95% in finishing an episode, but then I just completely scrapped it. It hurt me so much to put in so much effort into something, watch it back for final touches, and then just deleting the entire thing because I felt like it wasn't good enough or it just didn't make too much sense. But my main reason for quitting is because I want to move on to other things, like animation. I find and get more joy out of making fight scenes and making stuff that more people would want to see than just still images of fights. I also want to point out my series itself. It sucks major dick, let's just be honest. It's too inconsistent and just all over the fucking place. It has no sense of direction where it wants to go, nor of what it wants to be, and obviously that's my fault. I remade my series like 4 or 5 times now, and it's just a mess. Not to mention how many times I've changed my look. Holy fuck, the amount of times I've changed my look. It pissed me off so much looking back over the years at how many times I've changed it. In fact, if I had $1 for every time I got a new look, I'd say I'd have about 30 bucks. It got so fucking bad to the point where a friend of mine made a joke about it in one of his animations. I couldn't even be mad about it, but it was the truth. But now that I've settled on a design I actually like, it doesn't really matter too much in the long run. The damage is already done. I honestly hated myself for that, and besides trying to come up with episodes, I had constantly fought myself with changing my look. Like, I couldn't even get past one fucking scene without bullying myself about am I gonna change my fur color, or am I gonna change the color of my clothes, or even if I'm gonna go back and recolor scenes I've made. It's so fucking stupid and a sin to even have that thought process in the first place. But no, that's how my brain has to work. It was fun at first, but not really anymore. So I thought to myself, if it's not fun anymore, and it actively burns me out, and it doesn't feel like I'm not doing anything differently from others, why don't I just do something different? Why should I keep torturing myself making something that doesn't make me feel good about it anymore? I guess part of it was because I wanted to break the cycle, and because I wanted to try doing it my way. But I think I failed in doing so, and I think I ran my course with this type of content. I really do hate to end it on this note, but I think it's for the best to leave it where it is right now, and before I do any more damage to it, and to me especially. So, I guess that's it for now. In the end, can I promise that I won't ever come back to the series at all, or at the very least, finish the season? I can't promise that. Who knows what the future holds? Maybe I'll have a complete change of mind, and at the very least finish it off with a bang, but who knows? But yeah, that's it. I know most of you who watch my channel love Triple S, and I'm sorry. But I don't want to taint the series any more than I already have. If you want to watch more of it, I recommend go watch my best bro Top Kickman. He says he's got about 2 seasons he wants to complete, so if you want more of your fill, go to him. Of course I'll be helping him out if he needs me to. I'll link his channel. I don't really expect most of you to watch my future content, and I understand if you was only here for the one thing. But hopefully you stick around, and that's all I can really hope for. Bye guys, and thank you for sticking with me all these years. Triple S will always be in my heart, and I'm happy that I had the chance to provide you with some of it, even if it wasn't the best. Take care everyone.